Hello and welcome to this video wherein I have received one query. That query is related to that why this message is displayed that clrscr should have a prototype. Now let me put it over here. As you can see over here, this I am highlighting this. This error has been generated while you were trying to execute the program. I would like to mention first I did mention in the beginning that whenever you try to create your first program, don't write this CPP. You need to save this file as any name. Let's suppose I'm writing M, then I'm writing mmk.c. So first, the step number one, let me open a notepad over here so that you will be able to understand. My step number one is that I have to rename the file to file name .c. That's very important. Then the second component, what one of the student has mentioned that once I write this program, there is no error in the program. But the problem is that the clrscr is generating the problem. So what to do in this regard? I'll show you a program also. Don't worry about that. But I would like to mention over here that there is a concept like, as you can see over here, we have mentioned stdio.h. This is explained in the video that I have uploaded previously, that whenever we write anything in C programming language, it is treated as a function. So if it is treated as a function, then every function must be defined. So clrscr is a function which needs to be defined, and that definition is not available in stdio.h. For that matter, what we need to do is we need to ensure that while writing the program, as we start with hash include, then we do write stdio.h. If this error exists, then what you need to do is you need to include one more file, that is hash include, then conio.h. And then after that, we need to write main. Then you can write your statements, whatever statements you have written. And once you close the program, this will work. And if you are using a statement like clrscr in this program, it will work nicely. There was one more doubt which was mentioned by one of the student, that while writing this main, there was an issue that it was continuously generating an error that nothing is returned. So do remember, as I have mentioned, that this main is actually the name of the function. So every function name, the syntax of that is that it must have a return type, which we'll be discussing in detail very soon. Then we should have a function name, and then the parentheses do mention the parameters. Therefore, no need to worry about this because I am not going to explain it just now. So if you are facing a problem while writing the main function, then you can mention a simple statement here in main, that is void. Then it will work. One more query that I had received was that why don't we write a semicolon at the end of the main? I'll put it like this, that let's suppose mouth is meant for eating food. Now, if we seal our mouth, if we tie our mouth in such a fashion that we won't be able to open it, then we won't be able to take food, we won't be able to chew food. So therefore, if there is a function, it is having a body. Now, in order to execute that body, if we mention semicolon, it means there is no body to the function and this is the end of it. Like, as you have seen, we have mentioned clrscr. So therefore, you don't need to worry about the body over here. You are writing semicolon. It means it will check automatically what is the definition, what are the statements mentioned in clrscr, and it will try to execute it. And here, if you are writing semicolon with main, it means we have ended the program, which is not appropriate. Therefore, not mentioning the semicolon over here gives an explanation to the compiler that we have to start the program from this particular position, and then the body of the program is available within these braces. I hope that your doubts have been addressed with respect to this video. Now I'll show you the same program what has been mentioned over here in the C compiler. Now for that matter, I need to open my C compiler. So I'll open my C compiler, and then you can see here is a program written over here. I have saved it as .c file. Now let me check first by writing clrscr. I'll press semicolon because I just want to execute the program as it is, what has been mentioned. This is the second line of the program. Now see what will happen in this. The first line won't be visible because I have mentioned semicolon. Now let me compile this program. Alt F9 can be used to compile this program, and you can run this program by Control F9. Now, when I execute this, see the output, it is showing me this is the second line of the program. So clear screen is working fine, no issue at all. No need to mention include #include conio.h. But if you are using .cpp, then it might ask you. Therefore, if you include this statement also, hardly matters. It will help you. If I include conio.h also, then also it will work fine. Now let me run the file. Let me compile the file first. Now after compiling, it is done. Once I execute the file, right now my system has got stuck because of some problem. So overall, it's working. Let me exit the program. Let me come back to the recording window, and let me close this program. I'm closing this DOS window, and I'm restarting it again. Now let me restart this C window again so that we can see file, open. I had an open program, probably it was first program. Now let me open this. Here it is. So I'll write clrscr. No issue at all. Now let me write over here hash include onio.h, and then let's compile this program. And it's showing me one error message. Let me see what is the error message. Yeah, include spellings are wrong. Here it is. Include is now fine. Now let me compile it. It's compiled nicely. And then let me run it. It's running nicely. There is no problem at all. Now, one more attribute which I would like to mention over here. The time I compile this file, it's showing me one warning, and the warning is the function should return. So if you wish, you can mention void void, which means that the function is not returning anything. Let me compile it. No error at all. Run it. No error at all. So if you include conio.h and you are having file as .c, this will work fine. No issue at all. Now let me come back to the recording. So my objective with respect to the doubt was that you should be able to understand the doubts that have been raised by some of the students, the queries rather that have been mentioned by some of the students. I did explain about different aspects, like I did explain about #include.stdr.h, mentioning the name as .c, writing clear screen. Then this error should not come. If this error comes, then you can write over here #include then conio.h. Hope this has helped you in understanding the concept. Thanks a lot for patient